Hey guys, Fynixmech here, and today I'll be showing you the top 20 best base locations on Scorched Earth in Ark Survival Ascended. I was going to do a top 10, but there's so many good locations, I figured it'd be 20 today. I'll be showing you the locations as they naturally appear, making it easier to find them. They're in no particular order, but I will go over what I think works best with them, while also revealing some bonus locations. I'm looking at the aesthetics, dinos, accessibility, ease to resources, and size. With that being said, let's get into it. At number 1, we got the cool hidden caverns on the northwest side of the map, located around 24.7 latitude, 24.2 longitude. There are all kinds of cool bridges and levels here, but most importantly, there's a nice pool of water. Along with that, there's some resources such as metal, obsidian, and crystal. In the area, there's mostly RGs that torment the area, but setting up some turrets can most likely handle that for you. This can be a great area if you like building in different levels and creating different zones to operate in. This area doesn't even look like Scorched Earth until you come all the way out here, so if you're not a fan of that much desert, try this spot out. At number 2, we got Blue Obelisk, which you can find at, you guessed it, Blue Obelisk. But in case you can't, it's located in the northwest part of the map around 16.8 latitude, 33.7 longitude. There's a lot of little cliffs you can build in, or you can try and build right here in this big pool of water. Some of the creatures here can be a little bit more aggressive than some of the other obelisks, but you're closer to some of the areas where you can find sulfur, obsidian, pearls, and metal. Go blue team, go! At number 3, we have the Large Flat Cliffs Bridge, located at 24.1 latitude, 50.5 longitude. I like building on bridges, and this one gives you a pretty large space, along with that flat cliffs it's connected to. Down below is the water canyon, so that won't be an issue here. It's very close to any open sand, so any kind of dune creatures you're looking for you'll be able to easily access from here. This area isn't exceptionally close to any crazy resources, but it just looks super cool, giving you multiple bridges and areas to choose from. At number 4, we get the Elephant Graveyard, located at 36 latitude, 70 longitude. There's a few places to build, starting with the large pillars and these super flat areas. Going down into the graveyard, you get your very own pride rock, along with multiple oil veins. As far as water goes, you're going to have to pull it from pretty far, either green obelisk or a water vein out in the sand dunes. To make you even more thirsty, there's a bunch of salt and metal in this area. This is also a really good area to find some thylas, because the hyenas will run out of town. At number 5, we have these ruins under the cliffs, located at around 30.7 latitude and 72.6 longitude. This is right next to the sand dunes, so you have to pull water pretty far from a water vein or green obelisk. But I thought this area was too cool to pass up. Ideal for someone who likes building in caves or ruins. You can either gate this off or build off of it. Unfortunately, you can't place structures down such as a smithy on the ruins, but that can be easily solved by just placing down on the floor yourself. There are a few different levels once you get inside this as well. This location is a good thyla spawn as well as any sand dune creatures such as the Phaseolusuchus. Next at number 6, we got Green Obelisk. It's located at 50 latitude, 74.8 longitude. Green Obelisk can pretty much be seen from everywhere, but if you can't find it, it's on the east side of the map. Out of all the obelisks, I'd say this is the most chill in terms of dinos. All the cliffs around it are pretty flat, and you can't beat that. Plenty of metal nodes around, but you'd have to travel a little bit for anything else. This is a good starter area to build up in, as the dangers aren't as bad, and there's good starter tames in the area. You also won't have to worry about any water while you're trying to build up. Next, we have the Baby Elephant Graveyard, located at 58.7 latitude, 79.2 longitude. This area is kind of similar to the Elephant Graveyard, but it's just a bit smaller. Smaller pillars, smaller pride rocks, smaller graveyard for the people who want not so much death in their life. The area is much flatter, and there's a few oil nodes and metal nodes in the area. The pillars can be built on, but they have obsidian and crystal, so I would be careful if you want to keep those spawns. Water will have to be pulled from green obelisk or morelletop, since there's tons of cactus in the area. Next up, we got the Spiky Rock Central, located at 76.4 latitude, 69.4 longitude. Located in the lower east side of the map, this place just looks cool. There's a lot of interesting rock forms to build off of. Plus, you have your own little pool to pull water from. The dinos in the immediate area aren't too bad, and they're fairly close to this area that is a wreck spawn, so you can get some of your boss dinos. The stream leads to some silk pearls, and the mountain nearby has metal and crystal if you need it. Next, we have the Cactus Flatlands, located at 61.4 latitude, 51.8 longitude. This is a great starter area. You have a water vein, and you also have tons of cactus around, so water won't be an issue. Worst dinos in the area are raptors and maybe some Daeodons. Luckily, the Moralitops roam in packs here, so they're usually pretty good at stomping them out. There's 2 nearby mountains with metal, crystal, and some obsidian. Also, there are tougher dinos on these mountains, so good for getting some higher level teams. Just like anywhere else on the map, be careful of rock elementals on these mountains, as there can be a few. It's nice and flat though, so great for building and seeing what's coming your way. Next, we got the Central South, located around 47 latitude, 51.9 longitude. This is a pretty central location, which is great on any map. Close to water, good drops around, and mostly a flat shelf. Central locations have the benefit of being the same distance from everything. This location also has water on either side of it. It has the benefit of being in between many mountains, so take your pick which ones you want to harvest your resources from. You can find terror birds here at times, but that's usually the worst of it. Next is the Triple Rock Point, located around 51.5 latitude, 27.3 longitude. Located on the west side of the map, it's a pretty flat area with a lot of building potential. Close by, you'll have a water vein to set up your well. There's also a really cool bridge structure nearby I thought would be worth mentioning, since this could make for some fun building as well. I like building on different levels, and some of that can be done here. There's a bunch of mountains close by for resources. Creatures in the area are a little tougher, but nothing too big and too bad here. Bridge or pointy rocks, it's up to you. Next up, we go all the way out to the desert for this one. Located around 54.9 latitude, 12.4 longitude. We're located right outside the Wyvern Trench. There is nothing out here, but that's part of the beauty. The possibilities are endless. So why this dune location and not others? Well, like I said earlier, it's right outside the Wyvern Trench, so lots of egg looting to be had. If you're feeling brave, there are some resources down here to gather, but I would go to one of the nearby mountains. You know, to try not to get your face blown up by a dragon. The spot is good for a main base, or you can set it up as a nice outpost area to trap wyverns for milk. Also great for the survivor who loves to live dangerously. Next up, we got Red Obelisk, located at 71.5 latitude, 39 longitude. This area isn't entirely flat, but there's some cool ledges to build off of. The water is clear and full of pearls. You can also get some resources and tames from the nearby mountain that has RGs, crystal, metal, and obsidian. The spot is a nice place to build for sure if you want to take advantage of being near those, as well as having a pool to cool off in. Next is this flat shelf, located at 66.9 latitude and 55.1 longitude. Got a water vein right here, and a huge shelf to build on. I actually had a base right here and enjoyed how flat it was. It allowed me to see dangers for miles. Any dangers I couldn't see were taken out by Moralitops. Lots of good starter dinos, as well as the mountain for metal. Close to Red Obelisk as well for any resources you might want to gather up there as well. Next up, we got Are These the Same Pillars Again, located at 51.4 latitude, 63.1 longitude. Pillars. Again, Phoenix? Kind of. This spot is maybe for when all the other pillar spots are taken, or maybe you just like the view of green obelisk in the distance. This area also looks a little less dead than the other pillar spots, but there's still a few bones about. Like some of the other pillars, you have obsidian and crystal up top. There are also some water veins nearby as well as oil, and the creatures here aren't too bad to deal with. So pick the ground, pick a pillar, you have options. Next up, we got big old ledges located around 31.4 latitude, 47.7 longitude. Huge flat piece of land with a water vein right here, and if that isn't enough, right over the cliff, you have a canyon down below. This area is filled with all kinds of resources, both on the shelf and on the little mountain it holds. You have all kinds of dinos here too, both chill and not so chill. Another feature of this location is this cool ledge that pops out from the little baby mountain with the little archway. Whether you choose here or the shelf, this area is huge with plenty of resources to be had. Next location is dinos. Yes, that's right, dinos. You can have a mobile base if you contain one of these massive beasts. You'll need to be at least the level you have to be to craft the saddles from them, get the blueprints or saddles in a drop, or have a tribe mate craft it for you in order to ride one of these guys that require a saddle. There are limits to the structure that can be placed on the platform, but that entirely depends on your server settings. If you or anyone you're playing with has the Bob's Tall Tales DLC, you can have access to taming the Oasisaur, which is loaded with resources. All these dinos aren't easy to tame, but for the survivor that loves to roam the desert, this is the life for you. Up next we have No Man's Land, located at 86.7 latitude, 41.4 longitude. It's a water vein with literally nothing around it. Nothing! Great for if you want to get away from everything and everybody except maybe the bugs, I guess. Hey, this spot stinks! So why'd I pick it? I feel like it's one of the more tame spots in the dunes, and I feel like it's really close to some good resource mountains, as well as some awesome wreck spawns. Plus, since it's entirely open, you can build however you want. Up next is a central island located at 53.1 latitude, 55 longitude. This area is pretty close to the center of the map, as well as being surrounded by water. The dinos here aren't too bad, and you get your own spiffy looking tech structure. You can build in between the pillars or build a bridge to get access to all those resources up top. And up next we have the underground caverns located at 60.3 latitude, 47.7 longitude. You can build on this shelf if you want, as it's close to some water veins as well as a good resource mountain, but there's so much more underneath. You can find yourself dozens of different little tunnels you can put all kinds of stuff in. Also, this is where you can find bees for honey. There are creatures in here, but they mostly stay on the ground level. So if you like living in a crack, try this one out. And there you have it, Fynixmech's top 20 best base locations on Scorched Earth in Ark Survival Ascended. What do you think? Leave a comment down below. If you found this video useful, be sure to give it a like, as it helps me out a lot and I do appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel for more tutorials and tag along with my ASA playthrough series at Fynixmech V 2.0, where I give many helpful tips and tricks on how to play the game. Thanks for watching and take care.